what's up, folks? It's the Panther Fan Talk without Eric, but with me, as always, I'm Will, and with me, starting recently, it's Corey.
Glad to be here again. Let's jump into it.
It's nice to meet you, for those of you that are Corey fans. And, dude, 10-0, obviously just beat the Indians, and now we're after the Cowboys. So, I guess we're going to go ahead and start working on winning the NFC East since we pretty much got that NFC South locked up.
Yeah, AFC South as well since we've ran them.
Yeah. We got, starting out, it's already crazy. You got to deal with the ridiculous fan base of the NFC East again, this time with the most notorious, the Cowboys, and they open up as a 1-point favorite over a 10-0 Panther team in spite of being 3-7.
Which is absolutely ridiculous in my opinion. Odds makers, I don't know if they're trying to sucker people in here with this one or what, but it's insane to me.
I couldn't believe it when I heard it. I understand they're 3-0 with Romo. He's back. You know, they got the Hardy revenge. We've got, of course, Bryant's back at full strength probably, but
I wouldn't even say he's back at full strength. I watched a little bit of the Cowboys review of it, and he doesn't look 100% yet. He's better than anything they have, obviously, yeah. But he's going up against Josh Norman this weekend. I don't like him, even at 100%. I'm not saying he's doing a whole lot.
I agree. Jano, he's gonna clamp Bryant. I don't know. I get more scared by the faster guys against Norman. Not that he's slow by any stretch, but just the fact that if he does give up a catch, it's going to be, potentially a deep ball. Even though, we haven't seen that.
Yeah.
But Bryant, I've not been worried about him all year. Julio Jones, he don't scare me against Norman. But what about Romo?
Romo's obviously a wild card in this one. You don't know if he really shook the rust off. I mean, who they play? Miami. I think our defense overall is better, and our secondary I definitely feel is better than theirs. So I don't know if he's actually shaking all that rust off from missing 7 games. That's a lot of games to miss.
And it's a short week for them, as well as us. But with Romo being hurt, coming back from the injury, and then having to play 2 games in 5 days. But one thing's for sure, he's certainly not the best quarterback that's going to be playing Thursday at 4 o'clock.
Yes, that is correct. Cam Newton, MVP candidate. I don't know what else. I can't use any more adjectives to describe that man. He has absolutely carried the load for us. Give him another $100 million if this is the way he's going to play. That's what I say.
Absolutely. There was a lot of, he didn't
deserve
the money. Got paid too much. I made a meme, saying that he was still underpaid. So I absolutely stand by that now. He's definitely underpaid. He's MVP of the league right now. Some people are going to say, Tom Brady, but Cam's, got more rushing touchdowns than a lot of teams.
That's like entire teams.
He's got 20 passing touchdowns. Just tied the franchise record for touchdowns in a game with 5. 4 in the first half. He could have had 10 if,
if we didn't call
off the dogs in the third. So, yeah, he's been playing amazing.
I'll give our coaching staff a little bit of credit on that too, pulling them in the fourth quarter.
Finally,
I don't know why it took that long, but thank you for doing that and not risking anybody else on injury. That's one of the smartest things I've seen them do all year. So kudos to them.
I was happy about that myself. On the other side of the ball, defensive line coming off possibly the best performance of the season, 5 sacks, and we're rolling into Dallas. Not only with them being on fire still from last week against the Redskins, but we're bringing back Charles Johnson.
Say big boost for our defense. Clearly an emotional leader, voted team captain for I don't know how many seasons now, but he just emphasizes what our defense line especially wants to do. Love that dude. But yeah, I don't know how much of an impact he'll have other than getting other people more rest, because he could have a little bit of rust too, but it's prime time, and he's an elite pass rusher, so I wouldn't put anything past him.
Yeah, I expect him to play well. I think he was only out as long as he was because it was better for the team to put him on the temporary IR.
Yeah, make sure he rested up real well.
So I feel like he's probably been healthy for a while. I don't think he's going to come back, 40% of the snaps. Like, I think he could go the whole game if he needed to. I don't expect him to. I know Conor Ely said that he's one of the most tenacious and best defensive linemen that's an every down lineman in the NFL. And I agree with him. So you bring him in with Ely,
Jared Allen, yeah. Delaire.
Yeah, Delaire, Addison. And then, of course, our interior's nasty.
Yes, absolutely. And they're going to need to be. This Dallas offensive line is legit. I mean, it might be the best offensive line we face all year. Quite possibly. So they're going to need to bring their A game. And I look for the linebackers to really step up. I know our run defense, everybody's saying is down compared to years past. And part of that is because our pass defense is just absolutely ridiculous and you can't throw on us.
And defensively, we're top 10 in every category. So, even being down, we're not down that much.
So, yeah, it's not down that much.
And we just played a Washington team that, from all talks coming in, prided themselves on running the ball, and we gave up 14 yards.
And I didn't even see 14.
11 of which was in garbage time.
So I didn't even see 14 yards given up. But
forced a lot of fumbles. So, I'm not really worried about that. We have given up a couple home run balls this season, but other than the random big play, I'm not worried about any methodical drives. And Charles Johnson's going to be a big boost, in that. Emotionally,
especially. I mean, if Tony Romo was a big boost for Dallas last week, with him coming back their leader. Well, he's one of our leaders on defense, so that's a big emotional boost, if nothing else.
We got plenty to play for, as far as bulletin board material with Greg Hardy. And the nonsense he's spewing.
The 1 point underdog.
Being an underdog to a 3-7 team. Just the continued lack of respect. I know as soon as the game went off, I heard a lot of national media talking about they're 10-0, but they still might not be the best team in the NFC, behind Minnesota, who then went ahead and lost to.
And Arizona. I hear a lot of Arizona talk that they're a complete football team.
So we still get enough disrespect that I don't see us having any kind of motivational, needs or anything. I think we're going to have plenty of that.
Our team is hungry. They've been bashed so long, and so hard by national media after the 7-8-1 season last year that they're self-motivated. There's nothing that needs to be said to them.
So, have you heard anything about Philly Brown? Is he coming back?
Philly Brown, I have no idea.
Or Charles Tillman. I know it's still early in the week. We got the quick turnaround.
But I haven't heard anything about them. I don't know when the injury report is actually due, and especially with us playing on a short week. That'll be interesting to see. But going forward, I think our coaching staff has some questions to answer about Devin Funchess, and will he gain that starting role in Philly's absence? I know a lot of times coaches, especially ours, don't give players the starting job because of an injury, but Devin Funchess, the way he stepped up even over the last 3 weeks, playing really well, I think he's almost earned the starting job.
It's kind of interesting because Brown has been playing so much better since the first couple of weeks and the obviously debacle of a preseason. So he's been playing better. Ginn's really been the one with issues as far as drops as of late. But Funchess, at the very least, has to get on the field more. He proved that. He's definitely the best at going after,
going up and high pointing the ball and actually going after it.
Any kind of spectacular catch, he's the one that's going to come down with it. So they've got to get him on the field more. 64 yards and a touchdown last week. Just Funchess, it's alive.
Absolutely, and I think it doesn't matter really if he started, but I'd like to see his role progress, especially red zone. Just an added weapon for us.
And on the other side of the ball, we got the same, similar situation with Bené Benwickery. Obviously, he plays a ton of snaps because we stay in the nickel.
Nickel a lot, yes.
Like 60-70% of the defensive snaps were in the nickel, so he's almost always on the field anyways. So I expect him to keep moving to the inside on nickel plays, but do you think the coaching staff will look at him being on the outside once Tillman gets back?
I sure hope so, especially depending on the matchup for Charles Tillman. He's a savvy veteran, and he's been great for our secondary to develop and everything, but depending on the matchup and who they have, what receivers we're going up against that week, there's no point in not looking at Bené as being the other opposite corner on the outside with the way he's looked. Especially last game, big plays that he's made.
Yeah, I could definitely see looking at giving him some snaps on the outside when they're in their base defense. I don't know if Tillman's coming back. I'm hoping he does.
So I'd like to be.
We're shallow at that position. We're shallow at that position when he's not out there. I mean, obviously bringing in Colin Jones and Williams and such as that. But a guy we do know is out, unfortunately, and that's Amini Silatolu. He came out, after he was drafted, looked great. Powerful run blocker. Really just, has a knack for putting guys on their backside. He struggled a little bit since all the injuries, but 4 seasons now of injuries, and he's out for the season.
Yeah, another ACL. His second, if I'm not mistaken, actual ACL tear. So it not looking good for him, especially in the future even. But we are supposed to get Norwell back. Hopefully that goes well, so we get our starting 5 offensive linemen that we started the season with. And Norwell was playing great until the injury. So
he was. He's the more polished pass blocker of the two, for sure. And he's just as nasty in the run blocking. Maybe not quite as strong, but has a nasty streak. Lot more polished blocker. So, anything else you'd like to add, or you want to go to the predictions for Thursday's 4 o'clock game against the Cowboys?
Yeah, we can go to predictions. I guess I'll lead it off. I think it's going to be a close game. We've had 2 blowouts, so I'm not expecting a third one in a row. It's just not our style of play. They run the ball a lot as well, especially with Romo. I'm going to go Panthers 31, Cowboys 27.
High scoring affair. My first thoughts in this was, man, it's going to be hard to keep Romo from getting up in the 20s. My second thought was, our defense is way better than anything that Romo's seen so far. Our offense is better. Their defense, you got to give them credit. They're top 15 passing and rushing. I think they're actually 10th in rushing defense. Maybe it's passing. I don't know. But they're top 15 in both. And they're good, hacking a lot of points. But I think that changes this week. We hear MVP chants inside the
BOA.
well, inside Dallas's whatever they call their stadium now, Texas Stadium. I don't know what
it doesn't matter.
But I think we're going to hear some MVP chants from our people down there. I know we got some guys that watched our video last week that were already talking about it. They're going to be amped up. I expect to hear some Panther fans, and I expect to hear them as we rout the Cowboys 37-17.
I like that prediction.
So, check us out right back here after the game on Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving. We'll tell you again then.
Enjoy your food, fill up, and then enjoy the Panthers win, man.
And as always, keep pounding.